know what I'm saying? Today is Monday, not Tuesday. It's Monday. I'm so used to saying Tuesday. It's Monday, July 14th. We're doing a special today. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do it on Monday instead of on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Got some great content. Wanted to address the tariffs. President Trump got the new tariffs going on, you know? And I just thought that we'll come on and talk about it. So how I'm going to do it today, I got a couple news stories, of course, you know. Then I have a source from the White House. We're going to go over the White House's source, what President Trump and them is saying about the tariffs and everything. And then we're going to get into the news. Like, I've been pretty much the same across the board, how I felt about it from the get-go, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of people disagree with the tariffs, but the tariffs are a good tool that you can use. I believe President Obama believed in using tariffs possibly using tariffs and other economic tools. He gave a speech about it against America's enemies like China. You know what I'm saying? But what President Trump has done, he has decided to use the tariffs across the board in ways that we haven't seen before. I can say that there has been some positive results behind him doing that, you know? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Should we use tariffs, or should an American leader use tariffs as a tool to combat against America's enemies? Should they use it as a tool to generate revenue? Because that's pretty much what President Trump is doing. You know what I'm saying? He's using the tariffs as a tool to generate revenue. What I can say is, though, is that if we hadn't seen a price increase of any goods or anything like that, then, you know, I basically, you know, I don't see reason why people can have a problem with it besides those people who are directly affected by the increased rates. You know what I'm saying? Those business owners. So, man, I'm going to take a couple more seconds and we're going to just go ahead and jump into the content. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. As you guys come in, make sure y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Most importantly, guys, Republicans, independents, Democrats alike, y'all jump down in the comments. Y'all let y'all voices be heard. Gaming with JM, good morning. Good morning. So we talking tariffs this morning, guys. Look, America has a revenue problem. If you guys did not know, we hear politicians and news pundits talk about budgets and deficits, but it all comes down to the amount of revenue that your nation is bringing in and how much revenue your nation is spending. For years, president after president, especially in the modern times, have struggled with balancing the budget. And the problem is the spending. Although America is the richest nation on earth, America has a lot of bills. Guys, y'all make sure for me, y'all hit that, y'all double tap the screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So guys, before we get into the tariffs, we got to understand the fundamentals of business. It's like this. Say you and your significant other, you guys want to have a child. So you guys want to budget early for it. So while you're doing your budget, you put all your necessary bills down, your house note, your car note, your utilities, etc. And you see that you're spending 20% more on your credit card. You can't cut your house note. You can't cut your utilities. What do? To avoid the debt, you increase the revenue. You know what I'm saying? One of the parents is going to have to get a second job or a side hustle to supplement the extra spending. This is the problem that we have in America. Defense, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, that's pretty much all of your budget. What do you cut? There's nothing to cut. That's the problem. So when the bills are too high, America has to get new money from somewhere, increase the revenue. That's the equivalent of that example I gave you, where one of the parents have to get a second job. Does that make sense? America needs new revenue, and President Trump has decided not to raise taxes on Americans, but to use tariffs as a tool for new revenue and to encourage or increase new revenue in the United States economy. Okay. So if you guys hear us talk about a budget deficit or some type of deficit, let's just talk about this for a second so you can understand my position. A budget deficit occurs when money going out, spending, that means what you spending, is exceeding the money coming in during a defined period. In financial year 2024, the federal government spent $6.75 trillion and collected $4.92 trillion in revenue, resulting in a budget $1.83 trillion in 2024. Okay, you say, why does that matter? The United States recorded a $316 billion budget deficit in May. That's month to month. That's down 9% from a year earlier, driven in part by a surge in custom receipts to a record $23 billion due to new tariffs imposed by President Trump. So I want us to understand this. These tariffs is actually helping the budget because you're increasing the revenue. Sure, it is a tax. A lot of people say it's a tax on the American consumer. Have you seen anything that you bought go up? No. So I'm saying the American consumer is not feeling the effects of this tax. We know if President Trump raised taxes on the wealthiest Americans or raised taxes on anyone to increase the revenue, the Americans will feel that directly. So I'm saying this is a tax that select Americans are feeling, but it's definitely being felt by foreign nations. Gross receipts jumped from $6 billion in 2024 as the tariffs on imports from most trading partners increased port of entry collections. Year-to-date customs revenue rose nearly 60% to $86 billion, and this was in May. This boost helped push May's total receipts up 15% year over year to $371 billion, which outlays increased to $687 billion after adjusting for calendar shifts related to June benefit payments. The adjusted May deficit was $219 billion, which is a 17% drop from 2024. That's what the tariff revenue is doing. It's increasing the revenue. It's the same thing as if VP Harris would have got elected president and increased the corporate gains tax. The only difference is we know this select group of Americans will pay more in taxes. Okay? So what this tariffs does is that, yeah, sure, American businesses, they're going to pay increase to get the goods, to sell the goods. But to me, it's not discriminate. It's more of just, he going to put the tariff out there, and if you getting goods from Indonesia, then that's going to hurt you. And if you don't, you're not. It's not affected. But what I'm saying is that's just his choice of increasing the revenue in America. You see what I'm saying? Just have consequences. VP Harris just wanted to do it one way. President Trump wants to use tariffs. He won the election telling everybody he was going to use tariffs. So he's doing that. And in using those tariffs is a 17% drop, budget drop in 1 year from May to May. 17% drop. You say, Ghost, why does that matter? Because the interest on the national debt is the government's largest expense. Stop right there. When you reading that, man, it's so easy to fly over information, but that is the most important information in that whole paragraph. That the interest on the debt I always do this, bro. So I got this credit card. I just like showing people because I think it helps people when you show them. So I got this Bank of America credit card, right? So imagine all your bills. You got your rent, you got your car note, you got your insurance, and then you got a credit card bill, and paying the interest on this credit card bill is more than your rent. Paying the interest on this credit card bill is more than your. That's why it matters, bro. That is humongous. So President Trump understanding this and realizing this, I think it's important before we get into the tariff news. I think it's very important to understand where he's coming from. He's trying to fix a problem. And like I said, I'll give you the source for that information. That's the Financial Management Services, okay? The U.S. Treasury. Look, like I said, man, like there's no other fix to it. Guys, before I get into the new tariffs, understand that the United States is spending more money on the interest on the debt than on the military, than on Social Security, than on Medicaid or Medicare. More interest on the debt than on anything else. Just imagine, like I gave you this example in your personal life, that you spending more money on this credit card bill, the interest on a credit card bill than your rent. I would imagine if you paying $1,000 a month on your credit card bill, the minimum payment $1,000, that you paying more than $1,000 on your rent. I would imagine, right? The Democrats believe in raising taxes, and President Trump with tariffs. But regardless of whether you believe in tariffs or not, it's factual that problem exists where America is spending too much money. Oh, well, we have to cut something. We always get in fights about cuts. The libertarians want to, and the Republicans want to, and the Democrats and the people don't want you cutting their stuff. But this is a problem that we have. We don't have nothing really to cut, man. We got to get more money. How can America increase the revenue? Over $100 million so far in 5 months. New revenue President Trump has made off the tariffs. That has helped the United States tremendously. Now we finna get to it. Guys, if y'all have not liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Y'all make sure y'all hit that notification bell for me too, guys. So on this source, on this news story, it's coming from the White House from July 7th, okay? So this is directly from the White House, keeping America in the driver's seat. Today, President Donald J. Trump signed an executive order determining that certain tariff rates, which were initially set to expire on July 9th, if you guys have not been keeping up, will expire on August 1st, 2025. President Trump also sent tariff letters to many countries informing them of their new reciprocal tariff rates, which will take effect on August the 1st. Okay? President Trump took these actions based on information and recommendations from senior officials, including information on the status of trade negotiations. Since President Trump modified the tariff rates roughly 90 days ago, dozens of countries have agreed or offered to lower their tariff rates and eliminate non-tariff barriers to move towards a more balanced trade relationship with the United States. So understand that President Trump isn't just trying to collect revenue from the tariffs to help the budget. He's trying to balance trade as well. You see what I'm saying? So the tariffs definitely have a multifaceted use. Notwithstanding this significant historic progress, the U.S. trade deficit remains severe. You see, that's number 2, definite. You know what I'm saying? While the United States is open to additional trade discussions and deals, President Trump is taking action to establish trade relations going forward. President Trump sent letters to many countries explaining that starting August 1st, they will be subject to new reciprocal tariff rates designed to make the terms of our bilateral trade relations more reciprocal over time and address the national emergency caused by the massive U.S. good trade deficit. Guys, what I want y'all to realize is whether you're Republican or a Democrat, I'm saying the trade deficit is the trade deficit. Okay, so I've said this a lot of times. The Democrats feel that, hey, when you make more money, you're going to spend more money. You got more money to spend. So America has more money to spend. So that's why we're buying more goods than we're selling. But President Trump's take on that is that it is a national emergency. What you guys think? Y'all jump down in the comments, man. Y'all let me know. Y'all double tap the screen for me. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get you guys active. What y'all think? In some instances, countries will be subject to a revised reciprocal tariff rate that is lower than the rate initially announced on April the 2nd. For others, the reciprocal rate may be higher than the previous rate. The presidents may send more letters in the coming days, but so far the countries he sent the letters to with the tariff rates. Now, here's the thing about the tariffs. If you buying goods, say, let's say you selling a bottle of water, okay? Say you buy the bottles, the plastic bottles, the packaging from Japan. Those tariff rates affect you directly. You see what I'm saying? So it does affect some Americans. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. If he uses the tariffs appropriately, I'll say that it won't affect every industry as a whole. Does that make sense? Like the tariffs with China, tariffs on China, China is such a big trading partner. America trades more certain items with different countries that. So President Trump, he's at the dials, he's controlling it. Let's go over the countries though. So the tariff rates, here are the new tariff rates that he sent the letter out. Japan, 25%. Korea, 25%. South Africa, 30%. Kazakhstan, y'all excuse me, 25%. Laos, 40%. Malaysia, 25%. Myanmar, 40%. Tunisia, 25%, Bosnia and Herzegovina, 30%, Indonesia, 32%, Bangladesh, 35%, Serbia, 35%, Cambodia, 36%, and Thailand, 36%. Guys, look, I said it before and I'll say it again. That's why I did the stream so far, if you guys have been following from the get-go. I gave the example that America has a deficit problem, okay? You think about, we talk about cutting spending. That's like our biggest thing is to cut spending. Social Security, what you gonna cut? Medicare, what you gonna cut? Defense, you can't cut none of those things. Our biggest problem we talk about is cutting spending, but you can't cut those things, so we have to increase the revenue, okay? President Trump, instead of raising taxes on the rich, he decided to cut taxes, okay? And he decided to use tariffs. He ran on the tariffs. He was elected on the tariffs. So whether you support that or not, that's just where we stand right now. Now, unless you sell goods or products from one of those countries, Bangladesh, Serbia, Cambodia, Thailand, etc., unless you sell goods or products or you use goods or products from one of those countries, this part of this conversation does not affect you at all. It doesn't affect you. And like I said it before, and I'll say it again, I don't support the tariffs on U.S. allies. President Trump, he put 10% tariffs across the board, seems to be sticking. To be honest, we 5 months in, $100 million plus in new American revenue. That's key. Because if you want to cut all these programs, you can't cut these programs. You're spending more money on the interest on the debt than you are on Social Security. Imagine if America didn't have the debt or the interest on the debt. So imagine you spending all that much money that we spend, but the budget is balanced. You see what I'm saying? So if your balanced is budget and you spend it, if your budget is balanced and you spending that much money, then America could start a whole new entitlement program because they spend more money on the interest on the debt than on anything else. You trying to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, defense spending, you spending more money. President Trump recognizes this. So how do I balance the budget? Increase the revenue. I'm going to keep saying this so you understand that those have their there's multi-purpose, multi-use besides just, you know what I'm saying, America. He used those tariffs as a tool, economic tool against a geopolitical foe. But regardless of what we say, he ran on it. Elections have consequences. We can't argue with that. And $100 million plus America has made in 5 months. That's new revenue America would not have got if it wasn't for what President Trump is doing. So to me, the major question I have to you guys is, are your prices higher? I think that's the most profound thing you'll hear anyone say. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. Listen, they threatening that the price is getting higher and prices on goods are actually staying the same or getting lower. That is unbelievable. That's why President Trump need to hire me, man. I'm telling you. He need to hire me because I can make this argument. Because look, if you ask me from starting off in this election saying that I support VP Harris, right? And you saying that President Trump, those tariffs, are they a tax on the American consumer? I'm asking the chat. Y'all can discuss it amongst yourselves. Are those tariffs a tax on the American consumer? You say yes. In a way, yes. Listen, this water bottle, he got a 35% tax tariff on Bangladesh. Say I get these from Bangladesh, and say that I was buying these for like $3 for a penny. 35%, it's gonna raise the price on it. So now I'm paying a penny for one. You see what I'm saying? Say I had an order to get 50,000 of them. I can't afford that now. So now I can only get 10 or 15,000 of them. You see what I'm saying? It's cutting my profit margins. So what do I do to bounce back to where I was? And I charge an extra, penny? 5 cents? I charge an extra 10 cents on it to make the money back. You see what I'm saying? That's what we thinking that's going to happen with the tariffs. Hey, all the major economists said that President Trump is aware of this. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell y'all something. That 4 years President Trump spent, okay, that 4 years that he spent where he wasn't president and he was at Mar-a-Lago, those 4 years, I'm telling you, because he came back, we talking about Project 2025. I don't know about Project 2025, but he had a blueprint. Because I'm saying, like, you can't hate on VP Harris saying that the tariffs was going to cost more money, the Americans more money, because yes, we all thought that was going to happen. But what actually happened, President Trump's way of doing this is he didn't raise the $100 million in new revenue, slashing the budget, and the prices has got lower. The price of eggs has gotten lower. The price of groceries stayed the same. Inflation is the same or decreasing. Gas is getting lower, cheaper. That's so profound. That's so unbelievable. We heard that the Trump tariffs or taxes are passed on to the consumer. We look across the board, everything's cheaper. It's the same, it's cheaper, rent's cheaper, cost of living's getting lower. And President Trump's been playing with these tariffs the whole time. Tell me what I'm missing. Tell me what I am missing, y'all, please. What is the problem with using this tool? I got a hammer. That hammer is dangerous. We don't want you with the hammer. Okay, I'm using the hammer and the hammer is working beautifully. I'm saying, what can you say? We as the American consumers, American businesses, individual, remember the water bottle, individual businesses are affected by the tariffs. President Trump just has to address that. I don't know how you do it, case by case basis. I'm not sure how he does it, but I'm sure that he has to have a game plan for it. But what I'm saying on a broader overall picture, besides the businesses that are hurt individually by the tariffs, I don't see how there's no way that you could say that as an American consumer, you have a problem with him using those tariffs. If your eggs are down, the egg prices are cheaper. Oh, Ghost, I don't eat eggs. You got a car? Gas is cheaper. Oh, Ghost, I don't drive a car. You take a bus? Because that bus, any public transportation, petroleum is cheaper. That helps everybody, all the businesses. I'm saying if he getting the price of goods lower, what problems do we have with a tariff? Especially when it's helping raise money for America, not to mention the geopolitical uses that he could use it as an economic tool against American foes. I'm trying to see why people hate tariffs so much. Y'all throw it down in the chat. Y'all start a discussion amongst yourselves. Make sure y'all like the video if you guys have not. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, guys. If you look at the list I just named, though, I want to first apologize to that one or two business owners who are buying products for one of those countries, and it's hurting you. But from a geopolitical standpoint, I can't disagree with one country that's on that list. And I don't see how it hurts or affects world trade overall. I think how President Trump becomes a big winner in this situation is by securing new trade deals. I've said this from day one. He does that to protect the stock market, because every time President Trump announces new tariffs, the stock market will take a hit, and that's what he needs to watch right now is the stock market, okay? According to CNN, to open the week, stocks are down less than 1%, which isn't good. That's people's money, though. But that's the price we are going to pay due to the tariffs. It's not short-term pain. That's just the price that we're going to pay while President Trump does this little dance with the trade. In my opinion, what President Trump needs to manage the most is that stock market, because that is real people's money. However, looking at it from the right angle, President Trump is doing good business for America. And as long as prices are staying the same or getting cheaper, then all his focus really should be on getting solid trade deals, because if he announces a new solid trade deal, all those losses in the stock market will be regained and more. I think President Trump has hit a trifecta. Good morning, Angelo. Y'all come in. As y'all come in, make sure y'all double tap that screen. Like the video for me, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, guys. Super chat, super thanks, super stickers. They start at 99 cents, guys. Trying to get the channel support up. You guys hit that button with that $ in it. Your donations are much appreciated. I think President Trump is kind of hitting that trifecta, though, with what he's doing with these tariffs. They really are. Like I said, if you've seen the prices of goods getting higher or increasing, that would be one thing. Because that's the thing that we heard people say, the pundits or politicians, to make them be against tariffs, to make the American people be against tariffs. Hey, the price of goods are going to go up. iPhones are going to go up, cars, TVs. But the price of goods, if they're not going up, and America is making more money, trade, everything looking good. Only thing that is affected is the stock market. But the pressure that he's using, saying Bangladesh, I'm gonna tax you 35%, that pressure should bring them to the table. It's not gonna bring them all to the table, but all he needs is a couple solid deals to announce that. And all those losses, he's gonna regain that. Listen, I predicted 2026 President Trump is gonna go over 46,000 on the Dow Jones. Is gonna hit record gains. That's my prediction. Because all the pieces are in place for him to be successful. It's a Trump magic trick. It's the Trumponomics, man. It's something that only he could do. You see what I'm saying? So let's finish with the White House's story, and then we're going to get into some more news. Taking back our economic sovereignty, okay? This comes straight from the White House. Today's order, combined with letters sent to trading partners, underscores President Trump's commitment to take back America's economic sovereignty by addressing many non-reciprocal trade relationships that threaten our economic and national security. Good morning, Omar. Good morning. Good morning. As you guys come in, make sure you guys please like the video for me if you guys have not already. Y'all like the video. Damien says, I see you cheerleading for Trump. But y'all scared to ask for those Epstein files. Hey, Damien, I read your comment. Y'all like the video. Thank you. Listen, I'm going to get back to the news. I'm going to jump down here and read some of you guys' comment, make contact with y'all. I'm trying to get the participation up. I need y'all to like those videos. Look, so you want to talk about the Epstein files. This is how I feel about it. I said it before. I'm not a MAGA person. I didn't support President Trump from the get-go, okay? But I don't think the Epstein files is the business of America. Let me ask you something. So if you found out that President Trump was in the Epstein files, I'm saying, how would that make a difference in anything? You feel what I'm saying? Omar, you feel that? Angelo, you feel that? If we found out that President Trump was in the Epstein files, I'm saying, what's that got to do with the price of gas, though, and the price of eggs? Because I think that's what the American voters care about. All the dirt, y'all, they have on President Trump, if he in the files, who cares? Who else in the files? Y'all gonna say President Clinton was in the files? If President Clinton's in the files, I'm saying he's not finna run for president. Who cares? Because I heard stories. I could tell y'all stories about President Trump, the rumors that were made, but I don't see how it's beneficial to America at all. Not hating on, look, the feud between President Trump and Elon, that's between them. But I'm saying, saying the Epstein, I'm saying how, okay, so President Trump, all right, y'all, I'm just reading, I should have pinned this comment. Hold up, Omar, I'm going to get to y'all. Hold up, Angela, I'm going to get to y'all. I want to pin this comment. Hold up, Damien. This is what we talking about right now, y'all. We going to get back to the tariffs, y'all. But Damien wanted to say this. So, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to pin what Damien's saying, okay? Because I heard people talk about the Epstein file. Okay, so look. Let's just say if we found out that one day Jeffrey Epstein was in Manhattan and he went up to Donald Trump's office and he had a female who was over the age of 18, by the way, but he had a female with him and he went up there and President Trump, you know, he kind of started getting touchy-feely with the female or whatever, and she had a complaint about it, but she never went public. I'm saying, say if we find that out, what difference is it going to make? How is that going to affect our trade relationship with China? How is that going to help us, Omar, with our gas prices getting cheaper? Angelo, how is us finding out about Trump, Epstein? That's what I'm saying. So whether or not they release it or not, to me, that's immaterial. That has nothing to do with Pam Bondi and her effectiveness to do her job. Jeffrey Epstein file. I'm not trying to protect him or take up for him. All I'm saying is, bro, I've seen the most dirt dumped on President Trump than I've almost seen dumped on any human being in my life. Literally. They tried to put a bullet in the man, bro, and he still won. So what I'm saying, if you find out that he groped on a female because of Jeffrey Epstein and she wasn't 14, then I'm saying if you find that out, I'm saying it's just gonna stir up a little. We get a little hot, little what they call it spicy. Get a little spicy story or two. But I'm saying, what is that gonna help America at all? The tariff revenue, Omar, whether we agree or disagree, is helping America. That's $100 million that went in the U.S. Treasury that only Donald J. Trump would have done, Damien, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you had a different president, Kamala, that's my baby. Everybody know that. But I'm saying Kamala, she probably wouldn't have had that $100 million in the U.S. Treasury. Donald J. Trump, that's his policies, those tariff policies. So what I'm saying, we could talk that Epstein story, we probably have more people in here. We'll probably get more likes. It's a lot more interesting. But what I'm saying, y'all, I'm saying like if we talked about Jeffrey Epstein, I'm saying I don't see how that helps America at all. At all. Y'all make sure y'all double tap the screen for me. Angelo's talking to Omar. He said they tried everything against Trump. Trust and believe. That MR really exists. It does. That's what I'm saying, though, Omar. It really does exist. It does exist. It's just no one see the purpose of using it because it's not gonna affect any change with the American voters. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they really care. Damien said, prices are not going down. I sell pigeon supplies. I order from China. Damien, will you post all your sources in the stream? RB says, you sound like you feel sorry for him. It's not about feeling sorry for him. It's about what's right and what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's about taking back our economic sovereignty. With the order President Trump signed, combined with letters sent to trading partners, underscores President Trump's commitment to take back America's economic sovereignty by addressing many non-reciprocal trade relationships that threaten our economic national security. President Trump is the best negotiator in trade history. His strategy has focused on addressing symbolic imbalances in our tariffs that have tilted the playing field in favor of our trading partners for decades. Countries that aren't serious about addressing the tariff and non-tariff trade barriers that impede America's export and harm America's workers, farmers, and businesses are facing the consequences. President Trump welcomes the businesses of our trading partners on American soil. As these countries are aware, there will be no tariff if they decide to build or manufacture products. So President Trump is also trying to get them to a deal, man. Can we understand that, man? I'm saying, though, Omar, you ain't got to be personal with your opinion, but state your opinion, my brother, how you feel. But Omar, can you understand that President Trump is using tariffs to try to generate more business for America, man? You know what I'm saying? Get more revenue in America, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying liberating America from unfair trade practices. Since day one, President Trump challenged the assumption that American workers and businesses must tolerate unfair trade practices that has disadvantaged them for decades and contributed to our historic trade deficit. Omar, do you admit that we have a trade deficit? Do we have a trade deficit? Damien says, you seen a profit loss sheet showing we made $100 million. You mean trade revenue? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I told you that. I gave you the source. The first source where the budget cuts and everything. That's U.S. Treasury, Physicaldata.com, sir. U.S. Treasury physicaldata.com. Yes, sir, I have seen it. Over that. Easily. Look, so 23 billion in custom receipts. That's just in May alone. Damien, 23 billion in May alone off the tariffs. That's what's cutting the deficit. That's what's cutting the budget. That's why I said at the beginning of the stream, some of y'all might not have been here. You see what I'm saying? You got the same bills that you got. You're still spending the same bills, but you're making more money. Say you were working at the Dollar General and you were making $9 an hour. And you had $1,000 in bills. Well, I'm saying you get new tariff revenue, you still got the same $1,000 in bills, but now you making $11 an hour working at the Walmart. So you bringing in $1,200 a month instead of $1,000. So you got more money, extra money. That's what that does. It cuts the budget. There's plenty of benefits in those tariffs. That's not taking nobody's side, RB or Damien. That's just being real. I think y'all need to look at it from a different angle, man. You know what I'm saying? Guys, if y'all have not liked the video, make sure y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video for me. If y'all haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Guys, look, all the information I gave you, I completely agree with President Trump on 10,000%. Omar, you got to tell me, how has the tariffs personally affected you in your life? You feel me, Angelo? That's what we need to hear from them. Y'all need to tell me stories of how the tariffs have personally affected you. Here, listen, what I'm saying I agree with so far. President Trump said he gonna announce a 40% tariff on Legos. How much revenue would America generate from that? Probably some hundreds of thousands, maybe a couple million a year. Extra revenue, new revenue. Who's getting products from South Africa or Tanzania or Bosnia and Herzegovina? I'm not saying that it's not going to affect some people, because it is going to affect probably a lot of people. But what I'm saying is that I think it's beneficial overall to America in increasing the revenue. That's President Trump's way of doing it, Omar. He won the election. A Democrat would say he believed in raising the corporate gains tax, or a Democrat believe in a billionaire tax, and I agree with them too. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican, because a regular Republican ain't going to say they just support tariffs. A tariff is a Trump thing. Republicans can't take ownership for tariffs. That's a Trump thing. What I'm saying is that whatever he's doing, how he's doing it, it's working. So to this point, all of that, I agree with that. Now, here's where it might change a little bit, okay? So this source for the news is PBS, July the 12th, all right? President Trump on Saturday announced he's levying tariffs of 30% against the European Union and Mexico starting on August the 1st. Now, Angelo might get a little angsty with me about this. A move that could cause a massive upheaval between the United States and two of his biggest trading partners. Now, President Trump is looking at the board. Okay, so Angelo, why is President Trump wanting to put a tariff on the EU or on Mexico? Okay, he gonna say, Ghost, you should have researched those answers with. Yeah, I understand that. Why is President Trump? there's no way I could support the first part of the story, what the White House is saying and how it's cutting the budget and generating new revenue, and saying that, okay, now President Trump is saying he want to put a tariff on the EU and Mexico. So goes, why are you drawing a line right here? Because I think that this is the point or the place where we draw the line. America's biggest trading partners, China is among them. Okay? If President Trump is putting tariffs on China, I agree with those tariffs. China's a geopolitical foe. It's like this. Omar, I'm trying to think the best way I can explain this. So let's say if you got an opponent that you guys are in a competition, and say y'all are in a competition to see what y'all competing for, Omar. You know what I'm saying? Say y'all competing to see who could own the most land, and y'all got to get it by force. So y'all going back and forth, grabbing land. Omar's grabbing, Angelo's grabbing land, Damien's grabbing land. I'm saying, if you could send a shot at your enemy, I don't know if you call this peace through strength, but if you could send a shot at your enemy, why wouldn't America get at China through economic means? Why wouldn't America get at BRICS through tariffs? Those would be the first countries that I would use tariffs against. Japan is an American friend, but there's a reason why President Trump is doing that. All those countries in Asia, most of these countries in Asia, a couple of them in South Africa, I think he's doing that mostly to combat the Chinese influence. Those tariffs that the White House posted, those tariffs are probably going to stand. And I agree with them 1,000%. But now, this is where I draw the line. Where y'all was trying to say I was MAGA, and I'm just agreeing with President Trump. On this PBS story, Angelo, on this PBS story, Omar, is where I draw the line. Because when you're talking about Mexico and the European Union with tariffs, I have never agreed with that. And I don't know if I will. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Damien said to avoid the Epstein files, he's throwing everything at the wall. I mean, bro, y'all with these Epstein files, Damien. I just don't think the Epstein files are that important. I don't think President Trump is trying to avoid them. I don't think he cares. I don't think the American people care. It'll be juicy. It'll be saucy. It'll be so funny. It'll be stuff we'll talk about for a long time. But in the grand scheme of things, in the morning, the budget needs to still be balanced. The military members still have to get paid. You see what I'm saying? America has business, and President Trump is the leader that was selected to run that business. I don't think no Epstein files is going to change that. Trying to get a couple of them in here. Omar, you said the American people pay the tariffs. Omar, you tell me what. Okay, so let's go with what Omar is saying, because I think Omar, before we get into, because Omar, I'm finna swing a little bit your way with these European Union and these Mexico tariffs, because I'm not really for all this. But Omar is saying that the American consumer pay the tariffs. Omar, listen, what in your life that you pay for that has gotten higher? Because I got some things that has gotten lower, considerably lower. I'm talking about across America. Well, somebody might single out one particular community. I'm not talking about a particular community. I'm talking about across America, Omar. Eggs are cheaper. This time in July, or you could check from June of this year to June of 2024, eggs is cheaper. Gas is cheaper. I'm saying what has gotten considerably more expensive that you guys are talking about. Guys, make sure y'all double tap that screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell if you hadn't. Mob Chillin says, might want to start listening to Omar instead of talking at him. You clearly don't understand tariffs. What's more expensive? We keep on, but Mob Chillin, this is what I'm saying. What has gotten more expensive? I'm not talking at Omar. I understand Omar. I had Omar's argument. There's no guarantee that the business owner, I just went over this. I get this bottle, these $3-4. President from Bangladesh, President Trump put a 35% tariff on. So now I'm getting them for not $3-4, they're $1. The price increased by 35%. So now what? They're $1 a piece? Something like that? So how do I recoup the money? I pass them on, raise the price. So now the consumer, what are you going to the store to buy that is more money than it was before? That's what I'm saying. President Trump is doing a magic trick with these tariffs, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Don't understand. He's doing a magic trick with these tariffs. There's nothing that's more expensive. Actually, things are getting cheaper. It's so profound. That's why I'm not talking at Omar. I'm trying to explain them to him. Things aren't getting more expensive. Things are getting cheaper. How is that possible? Omar, list the things that are more expensive. Y'all, let's help Omar out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I need those likes on the video, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real interactive with you guys. I need y'all to like the video, subscribe if you guys have not subscribed. Omar, list some things that are more expensive for you. Because I'm saying we could check, we could just do an overall price check nationwide on it. Because I've done this on the groceries. I did it. I'm saying, what's more expensive? Yeah, I already did that, Angelo. I did that last week when we were talking about the tariffs. Rent's cheaper, a lot of things, affordability. It's not perfect. It's not where it needs to be. It still needs work, but it's better than it was a year ago. You know what I'm saying? You hear what Angelo's saying? Most definitely. In his letter to Mexico's leader, Trump acknowledged that the country has been helpful in stemming the flow of undocumented immigrants and fentanyl into the United States, but he said the country has not done enough to stop North America into turning into a narco-trafficking playground. So President Trump's beef with Mexico is he's saying that Mexico is not stopping its citizens from being the North America's drug dealer leaders. So he said he's trying to tax Mexico 30% for that. See, Angelo, this is where I separate, and this is where I might agree more so with Omar, but not because Omar is just like against Trump, but for these tariffs, because it's about the Omar's argument is that, Angelo, the tariffs affect the American consumer. Okay, now, the way President Trump did it from the get-go, he had that set up perfectly, China, all of that, yada, yada. He moved it so it wouldn't hurt the American consumer at the right time. All of that's fine and dandy. So you talk about, he announced a new tariffs, Japan, Korea, South Africa, Afghanistan, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Bosnia Herzegovina, I don't think that affects Americans as a whole. It affects the stock market momentarily, Angelo, but I don't think it affects Americans as a whole. When you talk about putting tariffs on Mexico, oh yeah. See, that's gonna start. That's what. See, it's like this. Let me see how I'm finna say this. It's like the stopping Iran from getting a nuclear bomb situation. That's how I look at these tariffs on the EU and Mexico. I understand, Angelo, President Trump. You see, I'm not a Democrat. So you see the first half of the stream or the first 3/4 of the stream. I'm not against the tariffs or what President Trump's doing with the tariffs. I understand that. But what I'm saying is when you start talking about Mexico, that starts affecting Americans. What Omar's biggest complaint was hurting the American consumer. Now you in danger of doing this more than just the 2 weeks on the stock market, losing money on the stock market. Here's what my problem is and my concern with this is. This is like the bomb in Iran thing. Because it's just like you playing with fire. I'm not, everything President Trump, Omar, I'll take my time. I have the debate with you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Everything President Trump has done to this point, you could say it's been a positive result or result that exceeded expectations to this point. But what I'm saying is, it's just like that Iran thing. You bomb Iran, and Iran do something America can't turn its back on, and then say if Iran could slap back, then you in a full-fledged war. And I'm saying with Mexico, this the thing. That's I just don't agree with the tariffs on Mexico or the EU. Because I'm saying that's going to affect products that we get. Like, y'all Google it. I could do it for y'all. The amount of products, just like Canada, that we get from Mexico. A lot, man. That would affect us immediately. Mexico has been helping me secure the border. But what Mexico has not done is not enough. Listen, people talk about the pump faking. I don't see no pump faking. I'm going to tell you, those first Bangladesh, that list of countries, Japan, South Korea, I don't think President Trump is going to move on them tariffs. I think he's telling them, South Korea, Japan, y'all should have been had a trade deal done. So he telling them countries, hey, y'all come to the table or all, because it just makes sense for America to keep those tariffs in place against those countries that China is trying to influence. You see what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother conversation. But what I'm saying, that Mexico, that's a pump fake to me. Because I don't see how I know you're going 30% tariff. See, that's what scares us, or scares me as an independent. That's that bomb in Iran. He dropped a bomb and walked away from it. So whether you like it, lump it, or choke on it, you know Iran ain't getting a bomb tomorrow. They're not getting a nuclear weapon tomorrow. And it ain't no war. Ain't no Americans died. See, that kind of president we could live with. We could live with that. We could survive. We could live that. President T, we could ride with that. Ain't no Americans died. They're not getting no weapon tomorrow. But see, if you drop the bomb and then they kill 2 or 3 Americans, you know President Trump can't sleep on that. Ain't nobody finna let him sleep on that, because we're going to say you shouldn't have dropped that bomb. We're going to let you know loud and proud that you shouldn't. So he going to slap him back. You see how that'll escalate, and then now you talking about a ground invasion. Next thing you know, you're gonna be talking about a ground invasion. Iran, they snuck a weapon of mass destruction. Nah, we ain't doing none of that. Ain't no more of that. See, that's how we look at them tariffs on Mexico, and that's why people say he pump faking, but I think I'm figuring it out. I think you could tell by the language. He's giving her praise. He's praising her a lot more than he was the first time he put the tariffs. They've been helping me secure the border. They've been helping me. They're doing good. They've been helping me. So a 30% tariff, because that, in my opinion, that would be catastrophic. That could have catastrophic consequences with Mexico. That's different. That's something totally different. So that's why I'm saying, Omar, you just come and saying that, oh, he's just a MAGA person, or y'all identifying me like that. Nah, that's not me at all. I'm not a yes man. But I'm saying it don't make no sense in disagreeing with him on just the way that he's going to do something. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen for me if y'all have not already. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Trying to get those likes up, man. Y'all make sure y'all double tap the screen, like the video for me. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is what I'm saying. If somebody, let's just say we are in Mississippi, and say we're going to go to Pennsylvania. Somebody might say, hey, okay, when you leave in Mississippi, you're going to go through Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and then you in Pennsylvania. Bet. Somebody say, hey, before you do that, this is how you could do it. I got an easier way. You just go up through Tennessee, then you hit Kentucky, and then you're going to hit Ohio, and then you right there in Pennsylvania. I'm saying if in the end you get to the same destination. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying for you as a voter, being fair as you possibly could be as a voter, if you voted, whether you voted left or right, but you have a president now, okay? And the goal is to get Iran not to be able to threaten the world with a nuclear weapon. Okay, so the way I'm going to do it is with the commandos. America ain't going to be involved at all. Because that could, you see what I'm saying? The world looking at America like a bully, or us intervening on Israel's behalf too often, because the majority of the young people are on the Palestinian side. So I'm saying that could have future effects, but I'm saying right now in this moment, if the goal is to not have a bomb, and I say use commandos, somebody else say do it this way, President Obama, and say President Trump do it this way. President Obama is on the left, President Trump on the right, and I'm in the middle. I'm saying President Trump saying to go through Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and then you there. And President Obama is saying to go through Alabama and Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina and Virginia and Maryland. But I'm saying, if you end up in Pennsylvania, does it matter which way you went? As an American voter. That's what I'm saying. I know the Democrats are going to say everything he do is wrong. The Republicans going to say everything they do is wrong. But I'm saying as the silent majority, the middle of the road, as a middle of the road voter, as an American, forget what party you in. If you come to the same location, the route that he took to go there, that's not the route I would have took, but he won the election. So, what can you say? That's my view on it, Omar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Omar, the companies did prepare for the tariffs on China. I don't see him threatening no different tariffs on China than he was before, and those are manageable rates. I'm saying the tariffs I see across the board that he has up there in that first half is manageable. That tariff on Mexico, I'm saying really 30%, but that's going to affect the U.S. economy. That tariff 30% on Mexico would. A lot of you got to understand too the trade, Omar. What's the main goods coming from Mexico? You start talking about Mexico and Canada, you talking about stuff that we eat. That's huge. Like when President Trump was talking about the short term pain, he was talking about having 8 Barbie dolls. Now they can only get 1 Barbie doll. I'm saying a lot of stuff coming from China, a lot of stuff from China, you're not eating it. You feel me? If you charging more money for this hat, I don't need no more hats. I got a few of them. I want a few more. All different colors, but I don't need no more. So if you charging more for this hat, that's different. But if you charge it, it's strategy. That's what I'm saying. He did it 4 years before. I don't think he did a bad job the first 4 years. But I'm saying him having 4 years off at Mar-a-Lago, I think he done became professional with this. Omar, you are correct. The companies did prepare for those Chinese tariffs, and America made record amount of money because President Trump did that. And it did not affect the consumers. So moving forward, he could target certain countries with these tariffs to in effect have a tax. And he can do it in a way that it will not affect the American consumers. Tell me why I'm wrong at. Yes, he can do that. Yes, he can, Omar. Guys, welcome in Legal Wars Live. You guys, please, for me, double tap the screen. We need them likes up. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, guys. Super chat, super thanks, super stickers start at 99 cents. Y'all hit that button below with the $ in it, and all of your donations will be much appreciated. We have had years to discuss our trade relationship with the European Union, and we have concluded we must move away from these long-term, large and persistent trade deficits endangered by your tariff and non-tariff policies and trade barriers, Trump wrote in a letter to the EU. Our relationship has been unfortunately far from reciprocal. I understand where President Trump is coming from. Y'all hear what I'm saying? There's no way I could be for him for those Asia and South Africa tariffs, and I cannot understand where he's coming from. But I'm just not rocking with this, President T. European Union Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen responded by noting the bloc's commitment to dialogue, stability, and a constructive transatlantic partnership. At the same time, we will take all necessary steps to safeguard EU interests, including the adoption of proportionate countermeasures if required. And we cannot, that's what Omar is talking about right there. If you just saying a tariff, listen to me. If we just saying a tariff, let's say I got 5 trading partners: Omar, Damien, RB, Angelo, and I can't even say this dude's name. I don't know what's wrong. And Sean. Those are my 5 trading partners, right? Say I get beef from Sean. From RB, say I get peanuts. and hair clippers. From Damien, say I get gasoline and wood to build and steel to build. See what I'm saying? What you get, y'all just say tariffs. Y'all just say I'm against tariffs or I'm for tariffs. Just the word tariffs. That's what I'm saying. If you understanding the tariffs, that's what I'm saying. Like, if President Trump came out and said, I put a trade embargo on the EU, will you be for that? No. What? I don't think Angelo, the biggest Trump supporter or fan, shouldn't be for that. There's no way you should be for it. I put a trade embargo on Mexico. Why? America's partners or ally. I got a trade embargo on Israel or on Italy. That's what I'm saying. I ain't for none of that. I don't even understand that kind of language. I understand it, President T, from a businessman, like you trying to fix the debt. He gonna say, Ghost, you want me to fix the budget and fix, this is how I gotta fix the deficit. We gotta do something with this. And I understand that, President Trump. I'm just saying I'm more for patience with Mexico and the EU. Even though I know you pump faking with them to get them to the table. But I just think President Trump, like, if there's a situation to where you had to prove a point or make a point that will cause harm to the American consumer, that's what we're scared about. The tariffs, I think the tariffs is a beautiful idea if you're doing right. Just like I made the example about getting different things from different partners. If you use an algorithm, and listen, if people wouldn't just be so stuck in their political beliefs, okay, and say the smartest men in the world, they came up with a tariff algorithm based on the different products, the profit margins from products, the businesses, that there's so many things that go into this, to where you would need a whole algorithm to be able to properly determine a tariff rate or on a different partner. You could say we could have free trade across the board, across the whole world. I think that's eventually what the world's going to get to. But then you're going to have like a one world economy or one like monetary system for the entire world. But I'm saying until we get to that point, I'm saying like I don't see how anyone could logically or really say that you have a real problem against just tariffs in general, because that could refer to so many different things. Just a tariff, just a tax. We have to be for. Are you against all taxes in general? If you are against all taxes, put it in the chat. Let's talk about it. If you're against all taxes, how does the government collect revenue? Texas don't have state tax, and they have a surplus. I know California's economy larger than Texas, but Texas' economy is probably one of the strongest in the country. But they charge for toll roads. That's a tax. If you charging me for driving down a certain street or turning, that's a tax. You gonna tax one? It's gonna be a tax one way or the other. So I'm saying, if you want to raise the taxes on billionaires. You want to raise the corporate gains tax. You want to raise the buy new sandals tax, or if you want to use tariffs. You got to increase the revenue. The Democrats do it one way. President Trump, he won the election. He didn't, like he was hiding, hey, Scott B, y'all don't tell nobody we going to use tariffs now, but we going to use tariffs when we get back in here now. He didn't do that. He was telling you he was going to use tariffs. That's what I'm saying. And on top of that, Omar, you right. People didn't know the tariffs was coming. President Trump know they knew too. He helped warn them. He told them. So they got ready. Just like Iran. So they was ready. You see what I'm saying? But then President Trump, he still did the tariffs. He still raised record amounts of money, $23 billion in 30 days, raising off just tariffs. That's almost $1 billion a day off of just tariffs in 1 month. It worked. Ain't nothing, you ain't paid no 5 times the money for no TV, nothing outrageous. An iPhone ain't $18,000 like it is in them foreign countries. 18,000 pesos, whatever their monetary system. Ain't nothing like that. America got $100 million plus, fix the trade, cut the budget. I'm saying there's nothing to complain about that. The only thing we could complain about the EU, not yet. That's going to affect us. You're talking about largest trading partners. On top of that, that's going to hurt our economy. I believe that you putting tariffs on, look, you could put tariffs on China, in my opinion, you could kind of get around that. I think it'll hurt. If America put tariffs on China in a because America puts sanctions on countries all the time, and they cut that country off. Put sanctions on Russia, need to, in a hurry. You're just gonna have to get your oil from somewhere else till the sanctions is up. See what I'm saying? So I'm saying if you do that with China, but I'm saying how you do the sanctions is with the EU and Mexico and Canada. That's how you do sanctions. That's your economy. The American economy is too intertwined with Europe's economy and with Mexico's economy. Y'all understand that? It's not like it's intertwined with China's too, but I'm saying it's too intertwined. Look, okay, so I'm gonna post this person's. You say 90 deals. Does it matter okay? So he say he gonna do 90 deals in 90 days, but he did 10 deals in 90 days. I'm saying, like you always got to think about the point. What's the point? What's the point? The point is to get the stock market to record levels. That's the point. Over 46,000 points. The Dow Jones Index. Record numbers. That's the point. If he does that, how he does it, I mean, does it matter? As long as he don't destroy our country, you're doing it, does it matter how he does it? That's how I see it. No, he didn't get 90 deals, but he fixed the trade deficit. He didn't get 90 deals, but he fixed the budget too. He didn't get 90 deals, but he fixing the interest spending on debt every month. That's what I'm saying. Does it matter if he don't have to? What human being does everything exactly they say they're gonna do? What human? Forget politics. What human? I don't do. None of us do. Life changes. So just like that, it's different if you're doing it and you being dishonest and you saying it. But just saying 90 deals in 90 days, that's the goal. The goal is 90 days. Shoot, the goal should have been 3,000 deals in 90 days. I'm going to make them sign 100 deals. Sue them 1,000 times. You feel it? But I said he got what he could. They got what they could. Stock market was looking good. Everything looking good. I look at the U.S. economy looks better than it did before he took office. I'm sorry. That's just hard line truth. That's hard line facts. Way better. You know what I'm saying? Guys, we finished that story. There is a pretty good bit to go. We've been streaming though for about an hour and 20 minutes. Basically, Mexico and Europe saying they're gonna clap back. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how much, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna clap back or any of that. I'm just saying I never really have been for tariffs on the American allies. Like I said, I understand why President Trump is doing it. You see what I'm saying? His goal is to fix the trade deficits. He's not looking at the EU as a geopolitical situation or Mexico. He's not looking at it like that. He's just trying to fix the deficit. And he know our deficits with those nations are jacked up. So he wants to fix it. But me personally, I think that that's dangerous. Those tariffs on Mexico or Canada or the European Union is dangerous. And I think President Trump will pump fake with those tariffs because they are dangerous. That's why he'll pump fake with them. But as far as those tariffs that he announced, like those Japan and South Korea, they should have been signed deals. You know what I'm saying? And President Trump, y'all need some deals like that's going to get the stock market, you know what I'm saying, change the trajectory of it. Because a week or two ago, ain't nobody was talking about, ain't nobody saying nothing negative a week or two ago. But now all of a sudden, we back here with the negative talk with the tariffs. And I don't understand, Omar, how y'all could do that. And America has made so much money in 5 months off this tariff. You're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars a day. Am I right or wrong? You make $23 billion. I mean, if you make $100 billion in 5 months, that's $20 billion in a month. That's a little bit short of $1 billion a day. That's hundreds of millions of dollars off tariffs. If the price of goods, like I said, I think he's got real strategic with what he's doing. Like how if you get certain goods from certain tariffs to certain places, it's going to hurt certain people. So you got to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened with the farmers in that first time. He had a good idea, but he didn't think it all the way through. And you know what I'm saying? Because China, we can learn from China. They just gonna start. If I'm getting all my beef from America, and America put a tax on that beef, I'm gonna get my beef from Russia. You see what I'm saying? If I'm getting all my microchips, if I'm getting all my microchips from India and I got beef with China, then I'm gonna get them from Taiwan. You see, I mean, like, you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know if you can afford to run that risk. President Trump knew that move he made with China, it was brilliant. It's very dangerous. If you don't do it right, he could sink the whole world's economy. But instead of doing that, he got the stock market up past the index past 45,000, right at 45,000 or above it. I'm saying what he's doing is, look, Omar, every single month, Omar, they're saying that he's going to have a negative job loss. They're waiting for a recession every month. The recession's not coming. The job's up. The unemployment rate is fell. President Biden did have it at record lows, Omar. I'll give you that. But it's down to 4.1. I'm saying America is getting more new revenue, cutting the budget, the trade deficits. I'm saying, come on, man. The eggs are not more expensive. Eggs are cheaper. Gas is cheaper. Rent is cheaper. It's cheaper. Groceries aren't that much cheaper. They're about the same. But they're not getting more expensive. And it's only been 5 months. What are we talking about? I'm saying, look, this is what I'm saying, Omar. You in a position to where if you just stay real with the American people, because President Trump can't run for president again. There is no one, and I'm not saying this because you'll never hear me toot his horn like those people. Oh, President Trump, you just the greatest. You hear him saying that all the time. You watch his cabinet meetings go around the table. President Trump, you're the greatest. President Trump, I'm not that kind of dude, sir. I'm not. You good. I'll compliment you. I'll give you a compliment in a heartbeat. Same thing I'm going to say behind your back. I'm going to tell you to your face. I just think it out loud. Oh, that's a nice shirt. Oh, that was smart. That's a good job. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, the greatest, nah, I ain't that kind of person. But I will say that there ain't no Republic. You ain't going to come up with nobody. That's why he won again. Ain't nobody else could do that besides him. Nobody else. So thinking that the Republicans could run this back, they can't run it back. I promise you. So that's what I'm saying. For the Democrats, if you be dishonest or disingenuous with the American people, that could help the Republicans win. J.D. Vance or whoever else get that nomination, they could run on that success. I'm saying there's enough stuff in that big, beautiful bill to where I feel like the Democrats probably could get the House back, and if they don't mess up. It's going to be hard to get the Senate. 4 seats, you got 5 to flip it. You ain't got the map ain't there. You ain't going to get the Senate. You probably could get the House back. But this is what I'm saying, though, is just trying to make it like President Trump. I'm saying, where are the gaps at in his economy? You ain't got to run like that. You don't run on that. That's not what you run on. You run on the gaps in society. President Trump's not going to fix every problem in the world, is he? There's going to be problems in the world that we're not even thinking of right now. So if you a Democrat, you just going to hang on to those problems that come up or that run. To me, if you run on affordability, because inflation increased to where President Trump might get stuff down, he ain't going to get it back down like it was. So that's what, in my opinion, that's what you could run on. You can run on affordability as a Democrat. But I'm saying coming out and trying to act like he isn't, man, President Trump got that motion. You can't say he don't. Everybody know he does. Straight motion. Straight motion. Yeah, he do that tariff talk at first, and the stock market do take a hit. But President Trump, South Korea, and Japan should have been made a deal. So I know you got to get at least 1 or 2 more deals, solid deals with big countries, and you announce them. And y'all see what happened? I said it last time what was going to happen. Oh, the economists were it turned out better than anybody. Not me and not President T, because he doing it. He running the play. He telling you what he going to do. He quarterback. I'm a quarterback. Y'all know something about football? Y'all be watching Peyton Manning? Oh, that's old school. Who them young quarterbacks these days? I'm quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And I'm calling the play. I'm audible, okay? So I'm telling him to run a post. 25 yards, he going to hit a hard slant to the goal post. Right? So look, when I'm in the shotgun and I'm barking out the plays, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the coach and I'm telling the coach, touchdown, TD. Look, I know I'm only 45 yards. I don't know what's going to happen. I know I'm only 45 yards away. And I know how that cornerback, he too close, and them safeties, they too far. So once he get 25 yards, he gonna have that cornerback beat so bad that safety gonna be coming up so fast that all he gotta do is shoulder shrug, and then that wide receiver hit that slant, and he hit that slant. Ain't nobody gonna be back there. All I gotta do is put enough air. This a touchdown, coach. This a touchdown. I'm seeing it before I call the play. That's what happened with President Trump. That's what President Trump did, man. Let's be real, man. He calling the play. He's telling y'all before he elected. It's not like he just stumbled up on the tariffs. He didn't stumble up on the tariffs when he was president. He been talking about tariffs since the 80s and the 90s. Donald J. Trump, looking like he about 20-some years old, skinny and tall and skinny, looking like one of his sons. Yup, in Trump Towers in the 80s or the 90s talking about tariffs. He been believing in tariffs. I think when he became president, he saw actually how the tariffs work, the actual application of the tariffs as a president. He given them 4 years off in Mar-a-Lago. When he came back, he quarterbacking. You can't say that's no accident. And he got numbers like that where he cutting the budget. Jobs are good. What point on the economy? I'll sit here and wait. What point on the economy that you saying that he need to fix? In 5 months, that ain't improved. That he hadn't improved and ain't getting better. And he got a playbook that you really can't call it. He took a little bit of Pat Buchanan. He took a little bit of President Clinton. But I'm saying the tariffs, you got to go way back to ain't nobody running no playbook like that on. That's all President T. That's all President Trump's playbook. You got to give him all the credit for that, man. Real talk. We ain't seen that from nobody in a long time. Y'all make sure y'all double tap that screen for me. Y'all like that video. Subscribe to the channel. If somebody in here want to give a donation, we would appreciate it. And if not, y'all, I've been on for about an hour and a half kicking it with you guys, and we about to wrap it up. Thorben says a black voting for Trump. Donald Trump got more black voters than any Republicans in I don't know how long. Angelo is a Hispanic and he voted for Trump. I didn't vote for him though, but I'm just saying though. Your color don't matter. Trump don't hate black people like Hitler hated Jews. Trump don't hate black people like that. Angelo is not uneducated, man. Y'all wild. Omar, you wildin'. What facts? What facts you got? RB say a black job. Listen, man. Y'all could delve into what I mean, if President Trump got up there, Omar, and said, I don't like black people and I'm trying to get rid of all black people. I want to exterminate black people out the face of the earth. If he, like the supreme leader of Iran, if he got up there and said that, that'd be something totally different. But I'm talking about on his past, where he is today. I'm saying President Trump, liking or not liking black people, have nothing to do with the unemployment rate being 4.1%. Not saying that I won't address that. Not saying that I won't. Not saying that none of that. But all I'm saying is that the unemployment rate being 4.1% has nothing to do with me being black, Omar being black, President Trump liking blacks. That's what I'm saying. None of that matters. When it matters, it does matter. If he talking about woke and woke policies, I'm saying you can't tell me to stop being proud that I'm a black man. But I'm not going to criticize the man because he feel however he feel. He entitled to feel however he want to feel. You say that because I'm a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. I say the same thing about a Democrat. Well, I just think it's funny. When I see Jasmine Crockett and President or Jasmine AOC, I just say President Trump just need to walk away. That's how I feel. Because AOC my baby. And I like President Trump too. But AOC my baby. What's that mean? Like, I don't care what party you in. Let a politician say something slick about AOC. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it was President Obama. You feel me? I don't care what politician. I ain't trying to hear no politician say nothing slick about AOC. In my opinion, that's worthy of them, getting on their head. All the way on your head, boy. No mercy. I'm saying, like, it don't matter to me what party you in. It's about whether or not I rock with you or not. I rock with Big President T. That ain't got nothing to do with me being MAGA. That ain't got nothing to do with him liking black people. That ain't got nothing to do with none of that. I know if a situation came across President Trump and the United States government had to make sure I was good, I believe President T gonna make sure I'm straight. Real talk. I got reasons to believe that. You know what I'm saying? I got U.S. Treasury checks that I never thought I'd see before. Not from them. Maybe from Tesla or somebody. Maybe from Elon. I know Elon got the bread. Like, they got the bread too, but they don't be giving out bread like that. But Big President T, bro, so many people in this stream probably got so much money. Not in the stream, but might watch it or probably got so much money. President Trump policies, man, come on, man, let's be real. You could be a Democrat and not like them. Just be honest about it. I respect that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if I kicked it with AOC, I wouldn't even talk about President Trump because I would respect her. I know baby girl don't like that dude. I know she don't mess with him. If I kicked it with Jasmine or Kamala, you know, my babies, I ain't finna be talking about President Trump around them girls. I'll kick it with one of them CNN reporters. Like, oh yeah, so I'm up at CNN at the little lunch center and I bump into Abby and Aaron Brunette. And they like, hey, Ghost, you want to eat lunch? Oh, yeah, I thought you'd never. So I'm sitting there eating lunch with the CNN girl. I know the company. I know the crowd. You got to read your crowd. Y'all ain't never played like you was a DJ before. You got to read the crowd. I know the crowd. I know they don't really mess with him like that. So I wouldn't put myself or them in that position because I know I'm going to have to stand 10. And who I'm going to stand 10 on? I'm not going to, I ain't hate no President Trump, but I ain't finna go against nothing Jasmine saying, nothing, ever. So when she say I don't agree with her, I turn the other way. It's like I'm a Democrat, but I'm not. For her, I'm a Democrat. But I'm not a Democrat. But it's the loyalty for the candidate, not the party, the candidate. It's not for the Democratic Party, it's for Jasmine. So when Jasmine talk, if I don't agree with Jasmine, I'll never go at Jasmine. I'm going to just turn and speak my opinion. That's how I get down AOC. No, I don't never respect or never support no transgender children, none of that kind of stuff. But I never disrespect baby girl either. It's just an independent. I guess that's how a Democrat is. You know, if your party starts saying that it's legal to marry German shepherds, that you just got to turn your back to it. Yeah, everybody married. You know your uncle Chris, he done married a German Shepherd. uh, hey, hey, Uncle Chris showed up at the wedding with a German Shepherd. He married to a German Shepherd. That's what you telling me, a 4-year-old, you changed a 4-year-old sex. Like that's Chinese to us. That's weird stuff to us. But I would never disrespect Kamala already. Now, you know how many Republicans Kamala had with her? Liz Cheney and them. You feel what I'm saying? But I would never disrespect it, you know? But I'm saying, like, I'm standing 10 on what I believe in, my principle. So, I mean, I rock with Big President T. That's big facts. And I'm saying that if I didn't rock with him, if you go back and look at the streams when I was supporting Kamala, I still complimented him on his economic whatever. If I didn't rock with him, I would still compliment him. Because I rock with him, oh no, I ain't gonna say nothing negative about him. If he doing something wrong, if he go to try to start a war with a country, yeah, on some policy. But I ain't gonna be up here talking about him like, nah, it ain't that kind of party. I rock with him like, yeah, I ain't finna be talking with him like, I ain't talking about him like, nah. But if we talking about the facts, the unemployment rate dropped to 4.1%. If we talk about the facts, what's the projection, Omar, for how many jobs are the economists saying that America's gonna add in July? That's what I want y'all to do for me. I got a homework assignment. Y'all go and look up how many jobs that America is projected to add in July. And then come August, we're going to see how many jobs then added. Because we done did this 5 months in a row, and every month, oh, he 30,000 more. Oh, he added 100,000 more. Oh, he added this many thousand more. Every month, he add more jobs than he's supposed to be adding. Every month, that's what I'm saying. So because I do rock with him, oh yeah, I'm a big up. Why wouldn't I? When Kamala become governor of California, I'm a big up my girl. Why wouldn't I? Hey, when AOC take over the Senate and she kicked Chuck Schumer into retirement, bro, look, I heard Chuck Schumer say, bro, you don't want me to get, like, for our dog, bro, I'll be on sitting on a politician's head, bro, for the rest of his old days. Bro, Chuck Schumer, bro. Bro, y'all, Chuck Schumer did a rally in your city today. How many people would show? Chuck Schumer, I know I could get more people at a rally than you can. I don't care what city it's in. Hey, Chuck Schumer, where you from? New York? Chuck Schumer, I bet you I could get more people in a rally in your city than you can, your hometown than you can. I bet you I can. Chuck Schumer did a rally. He do a rally, bro. He gonna have 50 people there. AOC do a rally. She gonna have 500,000. Yeah, y'all, it's time for me to get out up in here clowning. Chuck Schumer, you know AOC gonna get your spot though. You the leader of the Senate. They walking around with 95-year-old. What? That's, bruh, you go from having Barack Obama to having President Biden. And I love President Biden to death, but I'm talking about, man, I watched. Who is that? It ain't Tucker. What's the other one? I know Sean Hannity. What's the other boy, man, on Fox? Boy, that boy, man, I got to think of that boy's name. They janked on President Biden so hard, bro. They had me laughing so hard, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You make the Democratic Party, and not just look bad. You know the man had cancer the whole time. They didn't tell the man he had cancer, bro. Come on. You got Chuck Schumer. Man, if you don't go go get you a bottle of Gatorade and go. I'm sorry, Chuck Schumer. AOC, if she want to be the leader of the Senate, it ain't no way AOC is in Congress and she ain't got a leadership role. Well, I ain't messing with Hakeem. You feel me? It's just what it is. That's what it is. Hakeem in that spot, like we don't mess with Hakeem, bro. Hakeem, he down with the cause. Hakeem one of the people. We ain't messing with Hakeem. So I'm saying like Cory Booker, I don't know if he got, but I'm saying AOC getting leadership or she getting a nomination or something, man, for president, man. You feel me? Big shout out. Man, President Trump, though, man, he doing an excellent job on the economy. Omar, he's saying, I don't know what you talking about. Hold on, let me see what Damien said. Damien, what you say? Oh, y'all talking about that? Bruh, look, President Trump ain't nothing y'all trying to say he is about that, bruh. Look, President Trump was a famous person. You feel me? Like a real famous person. So there's stuff President Trump said, like grabbing a woman by the pee. He said it. Just go up to him and start kissing him. He said all of that stuff from the get-go. We knew that in 2015. When he would run, y'all might not follow politics, but what I told stories about talking to my political science teacher. He the only person I knew told me he was sure he was going to win. He was sure President Trump was going to win. This was I was in college. So, bro, we heard all of this story about, and he still won, bro. And then the Russia, and then impeached, and assassinated, and felonies, and I still won. Bro, it's just hard for me to hear anything you got to say about his character. Like, oh, he hung out with a pedo, and Jeffrey Epstein's dead. So who on the list? Some people in Hollywood? Yep. Guaranteed. Couple presidents or two, yep. Like I said, you got a story, y'all got a story. Oh, we seen President Trump. He had Jeffrey Epstein, one day he was coming to Manhattan. One of them girls came up to Trump Towers. I'm saying, if you come out with the story, even if it's true, I'm saying, how is that going to help the trade deficit? Tomorrow morning, we still got to be dealing with Israel and Hamas and Russia and Putin. And you talking about president of the United States, there's a lot of problems in this world. It's kids, young people over in Russia right now as I speak that is losing their life, dying. You talking about President Trump could help fix any problem in the world. There's so many problems in this world to be worried about. If he ate a cheeseburger and fondled on a 20-some-year-old 100 years ago, if he did it, she should have said something then. And if she didn't say something then, I'm saying, like, why don't she come out now? So what they gonna say? President Trump hung out with some girls he shouldn't, or touched on some girl. What's that gonna change? Bro, look. It's funny that Republicans are saying this too, like the MAGA people. I'm saying they went and got the list. It's stuff on that list it's stuff that's in those files that's not suitable for American consumption. That's point blank, period. So they went and got that list. They're looking at that list, and when you become president, you find out that it's not suitable, so you can't tell nobody nothing. Even if President Trump's name is on the list and he has an incident, it's not going to change nothing. Who would be surprised? Who in this stream would be surprised if President Trump's name is on the list? Let's be real. You act like it's Barack Obama's name or something. Ain't nobody gonna be surprised if President Trump's name on the list and he grabbed a girl. He'll tell you that's who he is. He think it's cool. Nigga, that's who he was when he was younger. Man, I'm finna holler at these girls. That's what he was on. So we already have our ideas and thoughts about President Trump, so he's on the list. What President Trump on the list how is that gonna create any jobs for any Americans? President Trump's name being on the list or not being on the list. Or President Clinton's name on the list. I'm saying in the interest of justice, but who getting justice? Because the Epstein is dead. So who getting justice? The girls that were getting that they messed with, where they at? Why them girls ain't asking for a list? You got some MAGA people asking for a list. What? A MAGA person? Who are you? Who talking about a list, man? That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna lie. If CNN reported, bro, I'm gonna be on the floor laughing. That's gonna be so funny. It's funny. But I'm saying if we talking about serious issues in the world, trying to solve complex, serious issues, I promise you, this won't come across my desk unless I'm trying to defend Pam Bondi's job or Kristen Noem's job. That's the only way I'm going to talk about this, is if I have to say something in defense of their job behind some nonsense. Because I promise you, I do not care if she released a file or not. I don't care. I don't think it makes a difference. Bruh, Martin Luther King, rest in peace, he a great man. You see that? He a great. But if we know that J. Edgar Hoover was behind killing him, I'm saying, how would that help us at all in our life or society? It wouldn't help us. So if they don't want to release the information, I don't think it matters that much. Who cares? Was there aliens at Roswell? That's an alien story, man. There's aliens, man. They're after us. The aliens are coming. You feel me? Epstein. I could see it, the man. Why they didn't release the tapes when he was like 40? When he was in the middle of fondling or doing what he was doing to them young women. Why didn't they release the tapes then? You talking about releasing some tapes after a man dead? Let the man die. Let the stuff die with the dude. Oh, well, Ghost, it might be some people out there that might. Well, who trying to figure this out? Because that's what I'm saying. Me as a legal person, if you saying there's victims that have been harmed out there, where are those victims at? So you need to, for those victims. But other than them victims, you talking about us just being regular people in the media or in the world, and we just nosy, really. And we just messy, really, and nosy, and we just want to know who on the tape. Oh, President Trump on the tape. That's fun. It's funny, though. I ain't gonna lie. Just like what President Trump said that about Elon. Like with him, they roasting each other. It's funny, but I'm saying President Trump as a president, he got business for America to handle. That's what he got to focus on. And Elon, he could focus on the business of Tesla, or he could just be a playboy. He really could do what he wanted to do because he made it. He the richest man in the world. He wanted to get into politics. He could hire Ghost to run the American Party for him. He can do what he want to do, man. Y'all, that's my time, man. Listen, man, I'm a Christian, man. I believe that Jesus Christ suffered, bled, and died on the cross for your sins. I believe if you get on your knees in a quiet room at any time and you pray to him with one prayer, you ask him to forgive you of your sins. You got to truly be sorry for your sins. You tell him you accept his death as the sacrifice of your sins, okay? And you accept it. And you ask him for forgiveness, and you believe. Faith is really important. You believe he saved you. I believe that's the whole key to heaven. That's how you go to heaven. That's how you get a part. It's that simple. I got the part one. I think you got to be a channel member. Channel memberships are like $2.99. But the part two and the part three, you guys, as soon as the stream's over, you could go on over to YouTube. Got a bunch of videos up. Got some political videos. But man, anytime I get in a situation where something's bigger than me that I don't understand it, I always give it to God, man. You know what I'm saying? Because God is bigger than me. And I know he's capable, and I trust him because I asked him to forgive me, and I accepted his son, his blood, Jesus' son, his blood is a sacrifice for my sins. But anytime I get in a situation where something's bigger than me, man, I just give it to God. You know what I'm saying? I start every day with Thanksgiving. I'm always thankful. I'm in a place of thanksgiving, even when things ain't going bad. You know, I used to didn't understand how to be thankful, but it's just a mentality that I'm always, the Bible say, come before the Lord in thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? And let your praises be known. So that's what I do. I start off thanking God. It don't matter. I'm going to thank God. And every day I'm going to start my day. I'm going to just be thankful. It's so many things to be thankful for. And then after that, I'm going to go find me an attorney and go walk. Now, but anytime I get in this situation, I start off with Thanksgiving, and I always go to God. This is the day that Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Guys, it's Monday morning, man. We did the stream, man. President T, he rocking out on the economy. I know my Democratic friends mad, you know what I'm saying? I know my Democratic friends, man, but y'all know I love you. You know your boy Big Ghost is independent. I'm going to give it to you real, you know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted now. All them Democrats, like, I rock with, I'm cool. I like a lot of Democrats. A lot of, I'm going to just be real with you. Probably more than Republicans, to be truthful. A lot of. I don't care about the party, but I'm just being real. I like a lot of them. When I was younger, they used to think I was a Democrat because I align with a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like Shapiro, how I like him, like how I like Obama, I'll line up with him like that. Like Jasmine, you know what I'm saying? You listen to Jasmine Crockett speak, like that's the way her mind thinks, she a female version of me. If I was a female, I would be Jasmine Crockett. For real. So, I mean, don't get it twisted now, but, you know, for right now, it is what it is. Big President T, he doing his thing. That's my time, y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Sometime y'all just look for YouTube to post something, you know what I'm saying? Tuesday, 7 a.m. Central, you know what I'm saying, for sure. But I'm out, y'all. We the people, too. It's a new vlog. It's coming soon. I'll see y'all soon, man. Love every last one of y'all. Y'all be easy.